While things are very hard now in Nigeria, a video was trending recently of Senator Godswill Akpabio saying this at the National Assembly while he was planning to roger the accounts of senators. Listen to him while I take some notes.
In order to enable all of us to enjoy our holidays, a token has been sent to our various accounts by the clerk of the National Assembly. I withdraw that statement. In order to allow you to enjoy your holiday, the Senate President has sent prayers to your mailboxes. To assist you to go on a safe journey and return. This Senate.
But it is sad, Oji. You can see what our country has become. It's a joke. These were the same people Nigerians voted for with a lot of hope and expectation. But what have they done? It's about themselves. Uriwa reacted this morning and said that Mr. Akpabio should be made to explain what he meant by that statement. And I think it should be made to explain what he meant by that statement. And it should be also made to explain what this alert is about. These are the same lawmakers that are collecting 70 billion that we have all complained about. They seem not to understand the pain a lot of people are facing. They seem not to understand the average in society. Dollar is over 900 as we speak today. People can't move on the streets again. They can't buy fuel. And we get our lawmakers getting holiday allowance while Nigerians don't get alert.
Absolutely.
Why even the 8,000 they first said by the government they were going to give, they didn't end up giving it. But
now, various comments were made about his statement, which, of course, you know what is happening in Nigeria at the moment and the way prices of things have skyrocketed and a couple of other things. So I was now wondering to myself, how much are the senators even earning that they have to be, given support like this, or would I say the accounts have to be rogered? I know Godswill Akpabio himself might be, in a way, trying to be a good father or be a good leader as a chair over there and, making sure that everybody is okay, gadget. So I came across this interview where a former senator got to speak about their earnings or what they themselves get to earn as senators. Maybe there are some Nigerians here watching me in the comments who do not know. So what do the National Assembly members themselves, what do they get to earn as lawmakers? Let's listen to that together.
Thank you for this question once again. During our time at the National Assembly, every senator is given the sum of 13.5 million naira as the running cost for his office. And then he has 750,000 naira as his salary. And then there is what is called constituency funds, whereby a certain amount of money like 150 or 200 million naira annually is domiciled in a certain ministry, department or agency of your choice, where you will submit proposals for your projects in your own constituency, whether it is constructing hospitals, schools, or providing empowerment materials to your constituents. Such agency, department or ministry is mandated to execute it. So these are the basic, but I don't know now with the value of the naira that has
could it have reduced or increased?
Well, I don't know whether it has. It cannot decrease. It could have increased. It's impossible to reduce it, knowing how sensitive such funds are to members of the National Assembly. But members of House of Reps earn less than that because they cover smaller constituencies than the senators.
By states, does it differ by states? The senators from every state, does it differ? The amounts are allocated to their constituency?
There are ones that differ and there are ones that don't differ. For example, now, the running cost is the same for all senators all over the country. The salary is also the same. But when it comes to constituency project, a lump sum of money is given to your geopolitical zones, and it depends on your numbers of members of House of Reps and also senators. So you would share that money according to the numbers of reps. So there are some geopolitical zones that have lesser senators and members of House reps than others. So those who have lesser number of senators and reps are most likely going to get more money because the monies are being shared equally according to geopolitical zones.
What we got to learn here is that the monies themselves are shared equally according to different geopolitical zones. So you'll be asking yourself a question. If their salary as at 2021, this interview was done at 2021, credits to Benga, then the question now would be, if the salary itself is 750, basic salary, what then is the running cost of 13 million every month? And that's what I want to discuss with you right here. Aside the 150 to 200 million for each constituency that has to be in a particular ministry, which they have to write proposals for, and then that ministry is with the tax for them to execute those projects. So we can say technically they don't get to take the 200 million or 150 million for each constituency themselves. So let's just hold that on that side. You could give me a different view if you understand better in the comments, because the essence of this video is for you to be aware. So this is what you have to know right here, and this is according to Premium Times. He explained that though there is no specification on what the funds was meant for, each lawmaker is mandated to provide receipts to back up their expenses. So just for you to get the perspective right here. So the running costs, of course, they might have to manufacture something. They might say that for their office, maybe the security they have, or maybe the cars they have, or maybe the cooks they have or something, the money is going here, which may not actually be so. But they have to prove where that 13.5 million is going to. But what you are given to go and spend without accountability is 750,000. The lawmaker also spoke on the controversial constituency project of federal lawmakers. The constituency project itself is given on a zonal basis, and almost every senator will go with a constituency fund of 200 million. But it is not the cash that is given to you, like I explained right now listening to him myself. You will be told that you have 200 million naira with an agency of the government for which you will now submit projects equivalent to that amount, and it is that agency of the government that will go and do the projects for you. Mr. Sani said the process of executing the project was fraud with fraud. This is where it now becomes interesting, because you now get to ask yourself a question. Look at the country and what is happening generally. You go to some constituencies, you will now wonder to yourself, what is really going on here? Like, think about the senators that you have put there and their constituencies. What are they doing? Because the essence of you being in this upper echelon is that those who voted you from your constituencies themselves should also be feeling your impact. Moving on right here. Now, the corruption comes when the projects are not done and the money is taken. It now begins to make sense. But right now, it is difficult to do that because NGOs and transparency groups have come into it. They track every allocation made to you and where they are being used. So there was already an existing corruption whereby things don't get done, but the monies themselves are said to have been used up. So it is becoming difficult for what used to happen in the past to happen now. This article was back at 2018, but think about 2023 right now. But I can tell you that I would love a situation where we do away with running costs, constituency project, and leave senators and members of House of Reps with salaries. So he even proposed that they should take away the running cost of 13.5 million and leave them with their salaries. If they are left with their salaries at 750, do you think the way they booga around, and even though it might now breed an essence of corruption as well, because if they are probably not paid enough, if 750 is not enough for them, they can easily be bribed to make some laws get passed, or like how lobbying is being done in government. Some of you understand if you studied government in school. The senator stated that members of the National Assembly ideally shouldn't be involved in constituency projects. Ideally, Think about that for a moment. He had earlier favored this position while speaking at the launch of fact-checking and constituency project tracking websites organized by Premium Times Center for Investigative Journalism. So, because these things has to also be checked, where is the monies themselves going to? Premium Times? Because you have to get the facts of this conversation. So if you look at them right now, the same people, or would I say the same house, issues like this coming up, you now ask yourself a question: what do they do with all this money? Right now, of course, it should be higher. This is 2023. Things have gone up. You know what 𝐲𝐵 himself has been doing recently since he got to power. So the question is right now, you as a Nigerian, how does the common man get to even feel the impact of these people? One thing you have to know is that for a fact, there are people benefiting from this regime, and there are people suffering and anguishing in this regime. But if it's possible for us to have an economy and a society whereby the right things are just done, but the corruption inherent in the heart of man is just something that is inevitable. What do you think about this episode? Till I see you next time, the name is George.